Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is DFree. Here today we are taking a look at the information that we do currently have about the upcoming banner that is supposed to come out tonight as it pertains to Valentine's Day and stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoy. Hit the subscribe if you are new, and we will be back once again tonight for a formal breakdown of these units, of course, and we will also be going over the fact that I got to do my summons, so we'll be doing some summons. So we have 3 of these units again that have gone through their previews and stuff, so we're gonna actually come back over here. So Rising Girls is coming soon, again, comes out tonight, but I do want to point out that since it's called a Rising Girls banner, I like, the thing is, this game does this thing where they have variations of Legends Rising banners, right? So these units could very well be locked behind the Legends Rising banner. It's very, 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 very possible. If not, then they'll wind up on, more banners that aren't specialty banners. They could also, realistically be units that are specialty units. This game doesn't really have seasonal units, so we don't really know. The only one that I think hasn't come back is Beerus. So we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, though, we do have all 3 of these characters. So Bulma, Youth, Chi-Chi, and Videl make debuts in Sparking Rarity. We have Bulma, we have the Chi-Chi, we have Videl, so they're blue, green, and yellow respectively. There also is a brand new EX Mai, and Mai low-key has the best art out of all these. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Bulma's proportions look kind of weird. I get the reference and I know where it's from, right? But her face kind of feels a little spaced out. Chi-Chi looks really cool too, and Pigtail Videl, of course. All right, so we have all these characters in a brand new purple Mai. The thing about Mai, though, is, I don't really know if I can see myself using 2 on 1 team, but boy, this is getting crazy. I've always been such a huge fan of the female warrior teams, and I always said one day they'd be OP and, they'd be pretty much top tier, and they basically are now with the inclusion of Mai, with the inclusion of Caulifla and Kale, and then still having Blue 18, and, they have a lot of very, 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 very good units, and they're going to pick up, literally a handful more here. All right, so let's come back over to the official Twitter. Before we proceed, so let me go ahead and talk about this banner. This is supposed to be our Valentine's banner. This is interesting because, well, it's always been said that characters needed to have a prime unit, or these banners needed to have a prime unit on them to be able to sell. That's why you see weird pairings for characters that maybe would be popular versus aren't also as popular, right? Or you can just have a full-on hype banner like Goku Black, Majin Vegeta, and SS3 Goku, right? So that's kind of why they do things like that, where they'll include a character that's not going to be super popular by themselves alongside a character that should be able to sell pretty well. But here we have an example of characters that, while I know a lot of people will still summon for waifus, I can't help but feel like, since this isn't what a lot of people really are looking forward to, right? I can't help but feel like this is probably just going to be an automatic skip for most people, right? Unless they're seasonal or whatever the case is, which I don't think is going to be the case, by the way. Unless they're limited and don't return, they're just going to be skip, hard skip, and people will just take their time because, no matter how many times I say female warriors are OP, people are still going to, of course, use what they want to do as they should. So, this is interesting too because well, a lot of people are expecting and really want Goku Black Rose, and for me, I thought that the prime candidates I didn't expect these at all. I thought the prime units that would come out would be Goku Black because he's pink, and of course Valentine's Day and stuff like that, and of course his voice lines are in the game, so they're just waiting on the time to release him. But there are so many characters that are voiced, I've said it on a lot of occasions, that they're just kind of sitting on, and they are ready, they're not dropping them, right? So there's that, for example, that Gogeta Blue guy. I mean, his model is already in the game and done, so don't know what they're doing with that. So other than that, I thought that he was a good example. I thought Ribrianne was a good one, and people were floating out the idea of Android 21, and I can't help but think that at some point there will be a Fighters crossover, and it'll be a good way for the original characters between both games to make their way into each other's game. So we'll see what happens with that. But nonetheless, that's not happening here, and I can't help but feel like this banner is just going to mega flop, and there's going to be another banner that comes out right after this one. I really just feel like within a few days, right, another banner is going to drop just right after this one. I don't think this is a banner that you should take seriously for that exact reason. So, nonetheless, though, I personally will be wailing hard. You guys know this. All right. So, we're going to take a look at the characters and kind of what they do. So, we have Videl here. We're going to read what they say. And by the way, feel free to chime in on what I was talking about there just a moment ago. Because, by the way, before we proceed, you know how I said banners typically need to have a character that's hyped to be able to sell there are exceptions to the rule. Like, if there's a hype banner already live, you have the leeway to drop a banner like this and not really worry about that from the marketing perspective. But otherwise, what they can do is just kind of, again, bring this out, let it sit for a couple of days, and then bring out another hype banner afterwards. Because right now in the game is only the brand new Ultra Space Time, and then there's also Legends Blue. That's not stuff that people are really, like, you know, super enamored to summon with. But this isn't the only game that does this. Dokkan has had its examples, its variants. This is the most recent one, I believe. Nonetheless, Dokkan's had their examples for, or their variants of, like, Valentine / Waifu banners. And they do stuff like this sometimes too. So it's not something that's unheard of, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to get across. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the characters. We have Videl. Hercule's daughter, Videl, arrives, a melee attacker who possesses multiple abilities that raise strike damage when health is low. Oh, she's going to be a fan favorite already. Not to mention the pigtails. Activate her main ability, Unyielding Righteousness, to lower strike art's cost. Okay. Bonus strike damage, reduce cost, and hit your enemy with some heavy strikes. So she seems like one of those, you know, last unit standing type of characters, like, you know, the Spirit Bomb Goku, Purple, you know, the one hand fist Goku too, like all that stuff, man. She seems like that type of character. All right. Why she got to beat up Hercule though? Okay, so nothing crazy there, nothing really to dissect. She just uses a couple strike cards and then she turns into her special move. That's basically it. So they didn't really adequately show anything for her because there's nothing really to show, right? She's a strike fighter, which is cool. The way I feel about this character is, as what type was she? Blue? As a yellow fighter. Oh, this is interesting. Yellow's a really good color for her. Yellow is a really good color to be, because when we get out of there, we go to female warriors, and I think it's finally time with these new characters, by the way, for her to get bounced off the team, or at least off of a unit that you would even use. We come to female warriors. Android 18 was the only other one. She was a melee character, but she's from the era of the game where they make melee characters and they do this stupid thing where they give them double blast cards, right? She also had anti-Saiyan, but you could tell they were still trying to, you know, not make it too OP, right? 20% instead of the natural 40. I mean, Caulifla has 40, for example, and a lot of characters have 40. So, like, it's probably time for her to get bounced off. Her saving grace, though, otherwise, I still use her, though, but her saving grace is having double buffs, so she's probably still going to be on the team. Which will prevent her from probably getting buffed, unfortunately. But being a yellow melee character basically is making her the second coming of this character, which in turn makes her a Broly killer, quote-unquote, despite the fact that, again, this character had type advantage in most scenarios versus Broly anyway, and had anti-Saiyan. So she's still good. Like I said, I use her, but we'll see what happens. But being yellow is a really good character for a strike-oriented unit, especially as we take a look at some of the other characters that are purple as well. We have units like SS3 Goku, we have Caulifla as well, we have Gotenks. Like, you know, when you look at the purple, it's really good. And then also being a yellow character, you know, that's not Saiyan in general in this game. It's pretty good when you go up against Chilled, so that's nice too. All right, so let's see what we have below. So nothing really to say about her, though, because they don't really show much. So we have Chi-Chi, who's probably my, I want to say, most anticipated unit. Look at this bitch slap, bro. Anyways, my most anticipated unit. She's going to be really, really good, really fun, and she's going to be really good for a long time. So let me address something now. People are considering the fact that these characters wind up having really, really, really trash stats, which I'm not going to discount as a possibility, but I'm going to tell you it's highly unlikely, right? We've had female warriors come out like Mai recently, who is one of the best units in the game, you know, top 6 at worst. If you haven't gone up against Mai, you don't really know why, but she's really good. Or if you haven't used her for that matter. And then these are the types of stats she has, you know, 47, 35, 54. These are really, really good stats for a support-based character. So she's basically the best support card in the game, and that's saying a lot, right? And then we have Caulifla and Kale, who, while they're saying, I wouldn't think that matters a whole lot, are characters that have some of the highest stats overall in the game. Now, when you look at these other characters, there's the idea that maybe, right, maybe they get shafted and get the joke type of treatment that Hercule got wherever he is in here, somewhere in here. So Hercule gets the joke treatment. He has the worst stats in the game. He's not even a character you basically take seriously as a fighter. He does the whole thing where he comes back to life, yada yada. He's interesting. He's different. But I don't think this is going to happen with anybody because this is Hercule's gimmick. You know, they made him trash because he's basically trash in the show, right? He's not a fighter. Like, all these characters are stronger than him. So, like, yeah, basically. I mean, would he be able to beat... I'm not going to get into power scaling. Oh, my goodness. Would he be able to beat these top two? Sure. Whatever. But nonetheless, though, I don't think these characters are going to be bad, especially when you look at Mai, who's not even a fighter either, right? That's the best example. These characters are going to have really, really solid stats, especially because they're going to want to entice you to summon. So we have Chi-Chi here. So Chi-Chi arrives. Chi-Chi inflicts 80% extra damage against Sun Family tag characters with her unique ability. It being a unique ability means it's anti-Sun Family. Holy crap. Do you know, I tweeted this, do you know how good that will be in this game? And do you know how good it'll be for, like, forever? Like, it'll always be good. The only weird thing about that is we have Chi-Chi, like, you know, beating up on her descendants, her kids, her granddaughter, weird stuff. But, I mean, Goku's in here, and every other Goku will always have this tag. So, Chi-Chi will always be relevant. So, to me, that's crazy. At 80%, 80% makes me think that her stats aren't going to be that great. They're not going to be bad stats, but they're not going to be that great. Because 80% is too high. Like, if she has Caulifla stats and 80%, she just basically one-hit KOs like Kaioken Goku, for example, which is insane, right? So they're going to be probably the worst stats out of the three. But again, it makes up for it. If she could wind up being, though, if I had to pinpoint a character that just has bad stats and probably one among the lowest in the game, it's probably her because they're 80%, right? But I don't think that the other two characters are going to get that treatment. But what I will say, though, is that regardless, she just at worst case scenario, becomes a character that you just bring versus, like, Goku family characters. Like, you can literally build a whole hybrid team with just Goku family characters, right? So, like, stuff like that, which is why Kaioken Goku, on a side note, is probably, like, the best bench buffer in the game just in general, right? So, moving on, though, we have Chi-Chi here. She draws her ultimate skill, Whirlwind Impact, with her main ability. That's nice. Getting a cheap special is really nice. And she nullifies unfavorable element factors. So, she's not even designed to just pinpoint a specific Goku. With her main ability, she pinpoints every single Goku in the game. Not even Goku, but Goku family again. But she pinpoints everyone and does 80%. Like, you can't even, at worst, she'll do neutral damage to every single element, right? At worst. So the yellow, or whatever, like her opposite would be what? You know, the purple characters, the purple Gokus, excuse me. SS3 Goku, for example, he's going to take 80% bonus, of course, but it's going to be neutral damage. No element factor. She is going to remove that. That's crazy. That's crazy. And finish off Goku and his fellow family members. Why, Chi-Chi? Why? They're your kids! Oh, man. But she has some of the best combos in the game, too. That's crazy. And she whips out the Bansho fan, too, which is really dope. That's really, really dope. Really dope callback to that arc. And of course, the Bansho fan's in a lot of different media, but in Dragon Ball. That's pretty cool. Also, something interesting happened here. Hold on. Is this a force switch? It kind of looks like a force switch. They don't mention it, but if she forces switch, oh my goodness, this unit is broken. This looks like a force switch to me. Because, yeah, it is a force switch because the character is gone. Holy crap. Holy crap. I didn't even notice that. She forces switch. Oh, man. See, that is busted. Sounds like it looks like she's a support character, though. This is busted, man. And being green is really good for her, too. But again, it doesn't matter what color she is. At worst, again, she can be neutral against all enemies. But again, it sounds like that neutral ability works on the main ability, so it's going to probably be about a 20 timer count wait. But still, whatever. That's really good. Holy crap. Now we have Bulma here with the Dragon Ball Radar, the Dragon Radar. Bulma Youth arrives. Special skill Dragon Radar switches her to another ally. Huh? Ignoring substitution count. Wow, that's really broken English. This is the times where you realize that, you know, they're just Google translating this basically between their Japanese account. Nonetheless, though, so she's able to switch out into another ally. Okay, now that right there makes me think she probably has pretty average stats. Okay, I think Videl's going to get some good stuff. Either they're going to have average stats. Let me go ahead. They're not going to have Hercule stats, right? That doesn't mean they'll have KO Khalifa stats either. Either they'll have average stats and really, really busted abilities, or a little bit below average with even more busted abilities. She switches out, though, and ignores substitution count. Holy crap, man. Her special skill, though, so that's her green card. Raises the allies' damage as well and adds 1 Dragon Ball all at once. She gives you a Dragon Ball? What the? So if you had a green card that had a Dragon Ball on it, you get 2 Dragon Balls for that. And she's also Dragon Ball Saga. This is a really interesting concept. She's Sagas from Dragon Balls, whatever they call it. We can pull it up right now. So that is a really interesting concept because King Piccolo as well. And so you have 2 characters. She's yellow. I don't think there's a buffer for this though. Is this Goku a buffer for this? Just Legends Road, right? No, he buffs it. Dragon Ball Saga. They're going to. There's 2 yellows. This guy and the King Piccolo. If she's yellow, then this is like dead. Really, really dead. She's blue. Okay. Which is good because, of course, red would be their weakness. So like you already have this really interesting dichotomy setting up where Dragon Ball Saga is going to be literally stealing your Dragon Balls. Well, stealing your Dragon Balls, but then, you know, she gets bonus Dragon Ball. And she can do it each time. She ignores substitution count, so you can just bring her right back out with her green card. You know how broken utility that sounds like? She just comes in and out. She can just come in and out with a green card, if I'm understanding this properly, with ignoring the substitution timer and just give you a Dragon Ball each time. Like, in combination with a character like Ginyu, you could just get the freaking Dragon Ball super fast. Why? What is this? I don't even like that. That's busted. Also, her ultimate skill cancels enemy buffs on hit, of course. Switch repeatedly and bring victory. Wow, this is a really broken unit. Okay. So Goku dies.
Your turn, Goku.
Oh, the cheeks. And she has the gun. Mai does it better, though. Sorry. I love how literally her cheek is out. Whoa, the boy Roshi. You did it, not him.
Of course I won.
This is a family-friendly channel. You need to stop this. She's like freaking 16. It's a family-friendly channel. Stop objectifying Bulma. She's best girl, man. All right. I'm not happy about her, though. I am not happy at all. At all. I think these units are going to be broken. You know, Videl is the most vanilla version of a character you can basically get. High strike output. That's it. But she's going to be one of the most damaging units among these characters that we have for female warriors. I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch all of you guys tonight for some summons as well.